What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another fantasy football video. This one, we're going to be talking about one guy, and it's a guy I know a lot of you have already heard me talk about. I just want to reiterate a point right now, and it's that you need to draft Charles Sims in every single one of your leagues, because right now he's going as running back 41, 127th overall. That's the 13th round of a 10-team league and the 11th round of a 12-team league. I don't care if it's standard scoring PPR. If it's PPR, you know what? It's even better. But in standard scoring, it doesn't matter. You need to take this guy. The 13th round is pure upside, and this guy is like the definition of upside. If Doug Martin gets hurt, which he's done, if he's terrible, which he's done, Doug Martin's only played 4 years, and he's been hurt and terrible for 2 of them. Charles Sims is immediately a number 1 who you're getting in the 13th round. Charles Sims, in my opinion, is better than Doug Martin. Sims has an 88th percentile adjusted speed score, a 77th percentile college dominance rating, so he's done it before. An 88th percentile breakout age, so he broke out young. He was dominant in college when he was young. He had a plus 19.4 production premium last season. That was good for 20th in the league. Okay, you guys have heard me talk about production premium before. I just want to reiterate. It measures a player's productivity across league average situations, discounting non-average situations. So it discounts the 2-minute drill. It discounts garbage time because defense are playing relaxed coverage. They're letting you get yards. So it doesn't tell you that you're a good running back when you can get yards in the 2-minute drill. It doesn't tell you that you're a great wide receiver if you can catch a 10-yard pass in a 2-minute drill when you're down by 30 because they're giving you those yards. A positive value, like Doug Martin's actually is negative. Sims has a positive 19.4. A positive value indicates that a player is more productive than the average full-time player given the same opportunities, and a negative value indicates that a player is less efficient than his peers with similar opportunities. Doug Martin had a negative 2.9. So Doug Martin was not as good as Sims was. Now, I know he had more carries, so he had the opportunity to not be as good, because generally speaking, the more carries you get, or the less carries you get in general, you have a higher chance of having a higher production premium, just because if you break off a long run, it skews towards that end. But it's not like Sims had no carries. I mean, he had 107 carries for 529, plus 51 receptions for 561. That combines for 1,100 rushing receiving yards last year, in a year that Doug Martin blew people out of the waters. I mean, I took Doug Martin in the 6th round last year. I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't know he was going to rush for 1,400 yards. But people don't realize that Sims had just as good of a year. They tied in yards per carry. Sims was actually slightly better if you look at the next decimal point. I don't have it on here. I have them tied for 4.9, which was 11th in the league. But Sims had a little bit higher. I think Doug's actually rounded up to 4.9. But it doesn't matter. As a pure running back, they had the same yards per carry, but Sims was far better in the receiving game. I mean, just think about it. Sims had 51 catches for 561 and 4 touchdowns as a running back. So if you're in a PPR league, that's huge. All right? That's literally 51 extra points that you're getting. And Doug Martin, maybe he'd have like 1 to 2 catches a game. Sometimes he'd have 2, but generally like 1 catch out of the backfield. When it's third down, it's Sims. It's Sims every single time on third down. And people need to realize that the Bucks stink. Okay? They're going to be down a lot. So they're going to be needing to throw. So generally when a team's down, in second down, they don't tend to run the ball as much. So if you're up, first and second down, both those, generally speaking, you can run the ball. So if the Bucks were a great team, Doug Martin could have a lot more opportunities at first and second down. And they showed that when I think he may have led the league in carries. I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But he was really high in leading the league in carries in the first quarter because the game was close. But once the game got out of hand, they didn't really give him the ball in the second half because they couldn't. They were down by 2 scores. They had to throw. And when they're in throwing situations, they bring Charles Sims out. And I think that this year they're going to be in throwing situations just as much as last year. And I think they're going to realize that Sims is a great talent. He's just as good as a pure running back as Doug Martin is. And if Doug Martin gets hurt, Sims is a number 1. So I'm telling you right now, if you're in a 10-team league, Charles Sims is an absolute steal in the 12th round. He's going in the 13th. If you want to take him in the 10th, go for it. If you want to take him in the 9th, honestly, in a 12-team league, if you want to take him in the 9th, go for it. Because he produced last year. Even in the monster year that Doug Martin had, he put up 180 points in PPR scoring. That's 13 points behind Frank Gore and 15 points behind Darren McFadden. As the number 2 for the entire year, in a year that Doug Martin didn't get injured at all, in a year that Doug Martin put up 1,400 rushing yards, second in the league, Charles Sims finished 52 points behind Doug Martin. Okay, as the backup. He only had 52 less points. Doug Martin right now is not going to be there in the 12th round, and Sims is. It's all about value. I'm not telling you to take Charles Sims as your number 1 running back. I'm not telling you to draft him in the 7th round. I'm saying that if you draft Charles Sims in the 12th round, maybe even the 10th round of your league, I guarantee he is going to produce value to at least warrant that pick. And I'm fairly confident he's going to produce value to warrant a higher pick than that. Fantasy football is all about value, and I'm telling you this is the best value pick in the draft this season. That's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys all go out there and draft Charles Sims. Just don't draft him too much. Don't drive up his ADP. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment on what you think. Think I'm crazy for drafting Charles Sims? Go ahead and leave the comment. People have already done it. And I just don't understand why you would not want this value in the 12th round.